A 2024 study found that nearly 2/3 of U.S. adults believe in paranormal or supernatural phenomenon of some kind, but they also found that 100% of U.S. adults love Tennis podcast, and even better, 100% of Nick Amel's love the Twisted and Uncorked podcast. And with me today are Sierra and Alecia, the hosts of Twisted and Uncorked. They've been on several times in the past, most recently episode number 247, where they had me guess the top 10 countries with the most serial killers. Sierra, Alecia, how is it going?
Good. Thank you so much for having us on again.
Yes, thank you. And I would love to know
That is privileged
who the other
information.
Nick Amel's are.
Before we get too far, though, I have to give a quick plug to the Live, Laugh, Larceny podcast. That's a true petty crime podcast, and their co-host Trevin has been on this show a few times. I'm plugging them because on the January 22nd, 2025 episode, you'll see yours truly. We covered a bunch of top 10 lists, and I shared my favorites in each category to determine how cool I am. Spoiler, not very cool. That's the January 22nd, 2025 episode of Live, Laugh, Larceny. I hope you will check it out.
Yes,
Definitely.
we
love them.
Trevin and Amanda, so I'm already writing that down.
Well, we got 3 uncool podcast hosts today, and we're going to talk about the paranormal. While we're talking about that today, we talked about serial killers last time. There was a time before that we talked about haunted places, and it's because you guys cover that sort of stuff on your podcast. And so I thought, what better topic to cover today with you than the top 10 paranormal beliefs in America.
So excited.
Oh, I'm so excited.
This comes from civicscience.com, researchgate.net, britannicahistory.com, with a little bit from Wikipedia. Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I want you guys to tell me, just a high-level view, your thoughts on the paranormal, the supernatural. Let's start with Sierra.
I love all things paranormal and supernatural. However, I am newly under the guise that it's all kind of the same thing. It's all just different parallel universes, you know? Everybody,
Hence
all
the
of
different
the
Nick
supernatural
Amels.
things. Just exactly.
But doesn't that seem that's less paranormal
Oh.
and more like, I don't know what it is, but it's not paranormal because it's parallel universes. It's not ghosts necessarily. It's like,
Well, that's what all paranormal is. It's just things that science hasn't explained yet.
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, that's true.
Yet, it being the key word.
Yes. And
You can
Alecia.
tell I'm very much a believer.
She's wearing her tinfoil hat. Can you not see it in this video on YouTube? I am much under the same belief as Sierra in that there's like another, not dimension necessarily, but I feel like when you die, you're still here. We just can't see you because you're in a different kind of plane, you know?
Well, this is completely off topic, but now I'm curious. Do you guys believe that there are other versions of you in other universes? Do you believe any of that stuff?
Oh man, I know you're not a Marvel guy right now, Nick. You are marveled out. But after I saw Far From Home, the latest Spider-Man movie, that really messed with my brain a little bit because it makes so much sense. Like, I'm not a quantum physicist. Do not at
hang
me
on. Whoa,
on that topic.
no, whoa. I brought you on. Right, you're not a quantum physicist. You're here under false pretenses.
I just believe that there are different versions of Earth. Like in one dimension, there's just cryptids. And then in another dimension, there's just ghosts. And in another dimension, there's just, I don't know, some other supernatural vampires.
Yeah. And
but it's not
is
me.
there an Earth
This is me.
where
That's all.
water is peanut butter? And
Absolutely.
Definitely.
okay. But I think it's like any possible thing you can think of does exist in some universe, right? That's a theory.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and that's
we're way
the
off
fun
track.
part. Anything that's unexplainable, it's fun to speculate on. Hence,
course.
paranormal beliefs.
Yeah,
So-
and I think you guys know about me. I'm a skeptic, but what Alecia just said is true. It's still fun to speculate. It's still fascinating and interesting. I love hearing about ghost stories, haunted stories. So we have 1 skeptic and 2 believers here today. That's going to make this fun. So let me first tell you about the history of the paranormal. The term paranormal has existed in the English language since at least 1920. The definition implies that the scientific explanation of the world around us is normal, and anything that is above, beyond, or contrary to that is paranormal. Ever since ancient times, stories, myths, and legends about ghosts have been told around the bonfires or on rainy nights. Mentions of ghosts exist in most cultures since ancient times, and even today, the opinions are divided regarding their existence, like we were just talking about. In the first century AD, the great Roman author and statesman Pliny the Younger, listener of the show, recorded one of the first notable ghost stories in his letters, which became famous for their vivid account of life during the heyday of the Roman Empire. Pliny reported that the specter of an old man with a long beard, rattling chains, and a hell of an ass was haunting his house in Athens. Let's skip forward centuries now to AD 856, the first poltergeist, a ghost that causes physical disturbances, such as loud noises or objects being thrown, was reported at a farmhouse in Germany. Now, on the flip side, there's the skeptics. There's a This is a quote I'm going to read. Quote, "There's also the notion that these beliefs are very comforting. So if you're ill, then the idea of a psychic healer is a nice idea." This comes from author psychologist Richard Wiseman. He said, and then there's the influence of the paranormal industry, the books, the television shows, the psychic hotlines, all have a vested interest in getting the public to believe this stuff. So there's something to that. Like I was saying a minute ago, I am ready and willing to accept evidence. But until then, I'm kind of on the plane of like, there's got to be an explanation for these things.
Yeah.
That's a totally okay belief, because there's been, like you just said in the history there's been so many instances where people have faked paranormal activity. Like if you look at the Fox sisters, they got really large for creating falsified paranormal activity and stuff. So I think that there can be a damaging side to believing in this kind of stuff too, and how you choose to
Both
promote
sides
it.
can
But
be, yeah.
yeah,
Because you can also
so
you can also be closed-minded to it.
yeah.
And I try to ride that middle where, like, as of now, I haven't seen anything that makes me believe, but I am willing to believe. And I want to believe, like, for example, we're going to talk about some cryptids today. I want to believe there's a Bigfoot out there, but I don't know that I can.
But okay, I feel like, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna ask because it'll be one of my guesses.
Okay.
Then I'll ask.
Well, let's
We
get to
know
the
if
list.
Bigfoot's out there, he has a good booty, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. You've seen the famous footage. Got some tits on him, too. Or her, I guess. Civic Science conducted a survey with more than 2,000 adults aged 18 and older in the United States. This is in August of 2024. That's the data today, a survey of 2,000 American adults from last year. And they asked them, which of these paranormal things do you believe in? They found that 2/3 or 64% of US adults believe in at least one type of supernatural or paranormal phenomenon. You'll be guessing the top 10-ish. It's actually top 8. And so number 1 is the thing that the most Americans said they believe in. Okay?
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
Is this what the most Americans believe to be supernatural? Because there's one thing that I'm like, oh, this is definitely number one. But I also feel like other people are like, that's not supernatural. That's,
Like, what's an
you
example?
know,
Well, is it?
is religion on the list?
I had the same question. Religion itself is not. However, there is something very much tied to religion.
Okay, but not God.
Not God. See, but I
Okay,
think
got it.
I
Got
I
it.
think if this thing is on here, then God should also be on here. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I know what this thing is. I'm gonna save
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I think anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I was gonna say God was number one, but if God's not on there, cool. We're
Okay.
good.
I love how you visibly got panicked just asking the question, though. Like an army of 10-ish podcast listeners are going to come after you.
I
But if
don't
you
want to
accidentally
ruin
guess
number
number one,
one.
if you pull a Dr. Buster, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. We listen to
I've
your
listened
show
too many
every
times.
week with or without you being our friend, so we've learned from his mistakes.
10ish Pod Plus member right here. Okay.
Yes. Did you know that? So, if 64% of Americans do believe in paranormal, how does that number strike you? Is that higher or lower than you would have thought? It's higher than I would have thought.
It's lower than I would
Really?
have thought.
Okay.
Only because paranormal can be so many things.
Yeah.
Even if you're not including God. So many things.
I'm with Nick on this one. I think that that's
Really?
higher than I would have thought
I would have guessed
because
under 50%.
there's been, you already mentioned religion. There's so many religious beliefs that just don't allow you to even go there in your mind. I like it though. That's a solid stat. I think all 100% of those 64% are listening to our show. So
Yes. And that would include people from Gen X. Generation X has the highest proportion of their population that believes.
Really?
wow, okay, that one surprises me.
That is
I would have
surprising
gone
Followed by
for
millennials
boomers.
for
sure.
sure.
Boomers? Are you joking?
No. I can't tell
I
you how
don't
many
believe a
old lady boomers
single
have told
boomer.
me about a ghost story in their house or something, right?
I cannot think of a single boomer who believes in any supernatural anything except for the one thing that is related to religion.
Well, say that thing. It's not number one. Say that thing.
Okay, it's demons.
It's demons, yes. It's 3.
It's number
Good. Wait, did you guess
3?
that or did I say it? You guessed
I
that.
did.
Wow,
I
congrats.
guessed it.
After so many
Okay, write it
episodes
down.
of shitty guessers, I didn't know people could guess correctly anymore, but you
I
got it.
told you I'd be a good
We've
guesser.
been
You just
training
had to
for
let me
this
guess.
for 7 years, Nick. Okay?
This list is a long time coming. I've actually had this on my to-do list for a while, and I try to match a list idea with the sidekick host, and this lined up perfectly.
I was like, he's either gonna go books or ghosts. It's got to be one of the two.
Oh yeah. Now, do you agree with me that if demons are on here, then God should be on here?
Demons would not
angels?
exist if not for God.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I don't believe in demons because I'm sorry, but I also don't believe in God. I don't believe in demons at all, and I believe in all of the supernatural. I believe in freaking werewolves, but I don't believe in demons because I don't believe in hell.
And you know what's funny is if a religious person, the two of them that we have listening to us right now, if they were listening to you say that, they'd say, "Oh, werewolves and vampires, that is ridiculous." But don't worry,
Yeah.
I believe I'm going to the big golden street paradise in the
Right.
sky. That's not ridiculous. But anyway, not to get into a whole thing.
Goodness gracious.
But I'm
Let
with
me
you.
tell you, my grandmother listened to an episode of our podcast for the first time, and I got fucking scolded.
Yikes.
I always get nervous because I live in Alabama when people are like, "Yeah, listen to your podcast." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
I
I'm
go
so
through so
sorry.
many things. I navigate so carefully to make sure that my parents never fucking find out about this podcast.
Yeah.
Like if I become a billionaire like Joe Rogan or something from podcasting, at that point I don't give a shit. They can know. But until then, I'm keeping this under wraps. I just don't want to hear about it. Well, 27% of adults believe in demons. Belief in demons probably goes back to the Paleolithic age, stemming from humanity's fear of the unknown, the strange and the horrific. Belief in demons remains an important part of many modern religions and occult traditions. I think demons predate the Bible, like the thought of the concept of a demon. The Bible, has their own version of it. A lot of things in the Bible existed before the Bible. Demons are still feared largely due to their alleged power to possess living creatures. The existence of demons as inherently malicious spirits within Old Testament texts is absent. There's no mention of malicious demons in the Old Testament, but the New Testament lists the word demon 55 times, 46 times in reference to demonic possession.
Well, that's just bad luck. I don't think you should be writing it that many times. Jeez.
Yeah, you're just asking for it. I was taught, because I grew up religious.
Me too.
And I was taught that if you even think about the devil too much, or you see a scary movie and you start thinking about it, now you're opening your mind.
Yep.
And the devil's going to come get you.
Yep, me too.
Requested and performed exorcisms. So remember, if there's an exorcism, the way you're supposed to do it is you go through the Catholic Church, you got to request it and get it approved. Requests for exorcisms began to decline in the 18th century in the US. But in the latter half of the 20th century, there was a sharp rise due to media attention exorcisms received. There was a 50% increase in the number of exorcisms performed between the early 60s and mid-70s. And what movie came out in the early 70s?
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Yes.
The one horror movie I have never actually watched
Whoa.
because somewhere deep in my Catholic raised brain, my grandma freaked me out too much to watch it.
Yeah, I get that.
The only horror movie I'm too scared to watch is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's because it always said based on a true
Yes.
story, but it was about fucking Ed Gein. So like it's not even that scary.
Yeah.
I still won't watch it though.
I
Fuck
don't
Oh,
know.
you
Chainsaw.
won't
We
watch
talked
it?
about Ed Gein
No,
multiple
I'm
times with
scared.
Nick. Have you seen the nipple belt? That's scary.
Yeah. Ed Gein was one of the
Chainsaws scare me.
Well, of course, chainsaws. People using chainsaws for construction projects fucking scares me.
Did you know the original use of a chainsaw was for giving birth, like for C-section? Like they invented the chainsaw to cut open a woman to take the baby out.
Was this one of your fun facts?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, that
Chainsaws are scary.
and you know
I was
when that
just as upset with her then as I am now in this moment for sharing that.
and when that chainsaw was invented to take the baby out, that was invented with not a single ounce of thought put toward the mother, right?
Right.
No,
It's like
they did not give a
no.
shit.
Well, at
Or
that
the
point, there was a
baby.
risk of them bleeding out anyway, especially in the 1800s.
Yeah, but they weren't
so
even
it's
going to
like,
try.
yeah, at this point, they were like, this is just more efficient for us.
Yeah,
It's just faster. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's fucked up. I'm sorry.
it is fucked.
I'm cussing too much on your show. Not that you don't do that, but you know what I mean.
I actually thought you weren't cussing enough.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
if fucking demons are on the fucking list,
mhm.
I think I know what the next fucking thing we should guess
Well, then
is.
stop fucking around and tell me.
Alicia, do you have
Yeah,
a guess?
actually,
I
Alicia
have
needs
a
to
guess,
guess.
but Alicia, go ahead.
Well, on the topic of demons, you said that God was not on the list, but it made me think of something on the positive side that's also considered religious in a way. Would angels be on the list?
No, but I agree that angels and things like that should be on the list because demons
Just
are.
needed
But
to clear that up.
But to know that the list is mostly comprised of boomers, I understand, and that's why I asked about God. I understand why angels aren't and God is it, because they're like, that's not supernatural, that's
yeah,
heavenly.
but
You know what I
do you
mean?
see how
True.
stupid
True.
Of course not.
the and I'm not trying to like I've attacked religion plenty of times, but I'm not trying to do that right now. I'm just pointing to the lack in logic of one of those people
Right.
saying what
Yes.
you believe is ridiculous, but what they believe is not ridiculous. Like,
Correct.
there's a double
Yeah.
standard
Yeah.
there, is all I'm saying. Okay.
Definitely.
So, okay, no angels. So what else?
No angels. What about witches?
Witches, you got it.
That
so
was my
are
next
witches?
guess.
That is also in the Bible for sure.
Oh yeah, a lot of this shit is in the Bible. In fact,
Oof.
I think the only thing that's not is Bigfoot, and which I guess I just spoiler alert. But
Damn it, Nicholas!
well, you knew it was
Cryptids,
on there
we know.
anyway.
It was coming.
So do witches rank higher or lower than demons?
I'm gonna say lower. I'm gonna say a lot lower, like probably 6, 7, or 8. Alicia, what do you think?
I'm gonna go 5.
Oh,
Alicia was closer. It's 4.
okay. Goodness.
Yeah. 18% of adults in the U.S. believe in witches / magic, by the way. They grouped them together. A witch is a practitioner of witchcraft. Traditionally, witchcraft means the use of magic or supernatural powers to inflict harm or misfortune on others, and this remains the most common and widespread meaning. Now, belief in malevolent magic and the concept of witchcraft has lasted throughout recorded history and has been found in cultures worldwide regardless of development. Societies have feared an ability by some individuals to cause supernatural harm and misfortune to others. And historians and anthropologists see the concept of witchcraft as one of the ways humans have tried to explain strange misfortune. It's easier for some people to believe that they were cursed or hexed than it is for them to just believe in coincidence and bad luck. Now, in medieval and early modern Europe, accused witches were usually women who were believed to have secretly used black magic against their own community, and that led to the witch hunts and witch trials, which led to tens of thousands of executions. And I would say 0 of the women that were executed were actually witches.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, I
in
would
my
say
opinion,
that there's a potential that some of them were, but I think people were bored. Sierra said it really well on the Salem Witch Trials episode that we did. I think that was episode 86. Like, people were just bored back then.
Yeah.
There was no podcast. No.
No, there definitely
Exactly.
were no podcasts. That was the
Yeah.
problem, really.
There probably wasn't even peanut butter.
Oh, there for sure wasn't peanut butter.
People were just shit in the streets.
You know,
now we're
that
just going through the
joke
greatest
just
hits.
not land as well for people that don't listen to Tennis Podcast. I made that joke because me and Kevin have been watching Bridgerton, and I made that joke, and I'm like, "What? They're not shitting in the streets. They obviously have too much money." And he was like, "What is wrong with you?"
But see, that's also part of the joke.
Yeah,
The
right.
fact that it's fucking ridiculous.
You got to listen to Tennis Podcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So these people, like, you're either shitting in the street, you're going to church, you're, getting an arranged marriage, or you're killing people from being witches. I mean, that's what you had to do. Or you
Yeah.
were slaving away in the fields somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I have for a while been calling myself a witch because I feel like, first of all, everybody could be a witch if they want to be. A witch is just like a holistic person. You know what I mean? Like, use nature for medicine and shit, in my opinion. But I'm listening to this new book recently that said that it's fiction, so who fucking knows? But basically, that the 1600s people didn't want to be called a witch because that was something that men made up to give themselves power, the men power, not the women power. They made it for themselves to be like, that's what I'm declaring you to be. So now
That's
it's
the
like
way it's
changed my
always
whole way of
been.
thinking. Yeah, it's
Oh, so now
fucking
you're like,
stressful.
oh, maybe I don't want to call myself a witch
Yeah,
because.
maybe I don't want to use the word witch because, like, I don't want to give men power.
Look, we
No
are
offense, Nick.
however long into this episode, and think of the things men have done already in this episode. They
Yeah.
have created chainsaws to rip babies out of their dead mothers. They have killed thousands of innocent women that they called witches, which was a word they created to manipulate women in the first place.
They wrote the Bible
They
to
wrote the
convince these
Bible.
demons.
Shame on you. Actually, God wrote the Bible through them. Witch has a bunch of
Oh,
definitions
goodness.
and meanings.
Absolutely.
But like the most like mainstream definition of the word is, either the hocus pocus or what you see in the movie The Witch.
I think I am aligned more with the practical magic witches, but
Oh, yes, you've told me that before. My daughter loves that movie.
Aw, she's
My
going to be
favorite.
planting rosemary at your doorstep before you know it.
Did you know they're making a sequel, Alicia?
Yes, and I'm so excited.
I've heard that for
Fingers
like the
crossed.
last 10
And
years.
the funny thing
I'll believe it
is
when I see it.
Sandra Bullock hasn't aged since then, so it'll be fine.
I noticed you did not say the same for Nicole Kidman.
She's had a lot of face work done.
You don't think Sandra has?
She's still hot.
Maybe she has, but her face looks the same. Listen, I am not about to bash women aging. I
think you
very
already
much
did.
a believer that you should age gracefully on your own and in a natural way.
I believe anyone over 40 should be put out of their misery.
Jesus. You're almost there, Nick.
Shh.
Don't lie.
No, I got a long way to go.
I wasn't ready for that. You admitted to falling asleep in front of the television pretty much.
Alicia, I told you that in confidence off air.
We were not recording it.
Yes.
Listen, if Nicole Kidman's people are coming after me, you're an old man.
Well, look, speaking of magic, I think there's something that could help you guys in guessing this list better, and that's Magic Mind. Because recently, I think I told you guys, I've not been sleeping well, and I've been struggling to remain focused throughout the day, and I've always struggled with anxiety. But I had a friend tell me about Magic Mind, so I gave it a try. It's basically like a morning shot you take. Through Magic Mind, I learned about the concept of mental wealth, which is about investing in mental resilience across 5 key pillars: sleep, diet, exercise, stress management, and oxygenous compounds. Magic Mind has been huge for me in building up my mental wealth, and for me, it started with trying to improve my sleep. So I gave Magic Mind sleep product at night to help me wind down. And in the days, I started to see a big difference. But after that, I incorporated Magic Mind Focus Shot in the mornings for daytime clarity and focus. Now I have a sharper mind, less stress, and sustainable energy. So, Alecia and Sierra, I want you to take advantage of this Magic Mind offer. They have bundled their focus and sleep shots into a 24-pack bundle, and you, as well as all of our listeners, can get a 45% discount right now on this 24-pack bundle. Just go to the link, magicmind.com/tennispodjan. The link is, Jan is in January. The link is also in the description of this episode. Last thing is that Magic Mind products are 100% safe, sourced from the best suppliers, and third-party tested, and Magic Mind donates 5 cents of each bottle sold to mental health charities that help U.S. homeless communities. So join me on this mental wealth journey. The link is in the show notes. That's magicmind.com/tennispodjan.
That sounds
love
really cool.
that.
Like, that
I
sold me
definitely
already. So.
need it.
This is a cool product. If you ever do purchase what I'm advertising, just use the fucking link or the promo code.
I will.
So I get the credit.
Got you.
All right, so let's put your magic minds to the test and give me another guess.
I do have another
Okay,
guess.
I have a question
Yeah.
before we guess.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there is a broad word for a supernatural thing that you mentioned earlier. Are we getting more specific than that?
Trying to think of what
Like,
did I say
cryptid.
earlier? Oh, that.
no, you said ghost.
I did.
Oh.
But ghost is like a broad. Is there like poltergeist and this and
They're all
that, or
grouped
is it going to
together.
be a broad thing? Okay, so we're going to skip past that one then.
I think you should. Wink,
All right.
wink.
Oh.
Alecia, you
Well,
take a guess.
You said one of my guesses, so now I'm second guessing myself.
Choose another one.
Okay.
How about the thing I spoiled earlier? Remember?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Bigfoot.
Okay, Bigfoot. Where's our boy Bigfoot rank on this list?
I want to believe Bigfoot is at least number 5, but I'm thinking he's probably, I don't know. Do you think he's
I would
up?
guess
Do you think he's number
7.
7?
7.
Yeah.
Lucky number 7. He is right between 5 and 7. He's number 6.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's actually Bigfoot and other cryptids. So
Okay.
Yes.
they're all
good. I'm
incorporated.
so glad for
Yeah.
that.
Cryptids. I love talking about cryptids, and 16% of adults in America believe in them. Higher than I thought, because usually, like, people call you a quack if you say you believe in Bigfoot or something, right? But I think more people believe than admit it. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and subculture that aims to prove the existence of entities from the folklore records, such as Bigfoot, chupacabras, the Loch Ness Monster, etc. What's your favorite cryptid?
Man.
My favorite cryptid is
I knew you guys were
Mothman,
going to say
for
that.
sure.
Yep.
We're
However,
representing.
My ghost that you mentioned earlier is actually a Fresno Nightcrawler, which is my second favorite.
Same.
I did not notice that.
We affectionately call him Ghost Pants.
Yeah.
Look, I got to go with the classic. I got to go with the OG. He's not the OG, but he's the most famous, and that's Bigfoot. The most well-known Bigfoot, yeah.
It's because he's got the nicest butt.
He's got the nicest butt. He's got a hell of a tits on him. But also, there's not many cryptids with pretty semi-credible footage of them, right? I love the Patterson footage, which is the famous Bigfoot footage where you see Bigfoot walking and he looks over his shoulder. I know it might be a hoax, whatever, but I want to believe. Now, Bigfoot, he's commonly referred to as Sasquatch. He's a large, hairy, human-like mythical creature purported to inhabit forests in North America, especially the Pacific Northwest, up in Alicia's neighborhood. People claim to have seen Bigfoot, describing it as a large, hairy, muscular, bipedal ape creature, roughly 6'9". Most scientists have historically discounted the existence of Bigfoot, considering it to be a combination of folklore, misidentification, and hoax. But he has had a demonstrable impact as pop culture phenomenon. It has become entrenched in American pop culture, and it is as viable an icon as Michael Jordan, with more than 45 years having passed since reported sightings in California. For more on Bigfoot, I've done a whole episode on Bigfoot, episode 226. We did the top 10 states in America with the most credible Bigfoot sightings, and me and Brandon also did a cryptid episode on number 103. Brandon loved cryptids
Some of my
too.
favorites.
Yeah. He was a Mothman guy, like you. But I've not made my way to the Mothman statue like you guys did.
Would
was
recommend.
so great.
It's
Yes,
such
for
a
sure.
small little dinky rundown town, but it's kind of charming for that reason. And the Mothman statue is he's packing.
The ass on that
I
thing.
mean, do you think they were
Damn.
they making the ass on that thing like to be funny? Or were they making it to be
No,
like,
he's
I
got
we
a
got to be
mean,
six
hyper
pack too,
realistic?
so
there's no way that was realistic. There's no fucking way. Like, they just wanted it to have a nice ass.
That's my
it's true.
question. Like, what's the motivation behind the nice ass
It's
on the
true. It
statue?
would just weigh him down in the air if his ass really looked like that. The glutes are the biggest muscle in your body.
I don't know. I've seen Dr. Buster booty clap with such
Oh,
force that
God.
he gets some air, and he starts taking off like a helicopter, even when he's not trying to. So sometimes it might help him. The Mothman.
True. True enough. Well,
True
if
enough,
Dr.
she
Buster
says.
and Mothman ever pair up for a flight, let me know.
Okay. Well, Bigfoot and Other Cryptids is number 6. Where do we want to go next?
I have a guess related to sleep paralysis, which is often considered paranormal for people. So I'm going to guess shadow figures or apparitions.
I
Oh,
like that guess. I like it, but no. Well, that would probably let's cover this one then. This would fall under other. Number 8 is other. So you have the top 7.
number literally other.
Just other.
I don't make the
The
rules,
word is
Sierra.
other.
I,
Are you fucking
unless there's a
okay?
spiritual
Listen,
being called author.
I disagree with this list already. How fucking dare they say other? What? I'm stressing
I
Nick
don't
out.
claim her in this moment, Nick. I know you worked really
There's
hard.
only
What the
when Nick and Mel thinks, oh, you know what would be a fun list to do, and I type it down on my little list idea board, is fucking paranormal beliefs in America. Let me write that down, and I'll worry about if there is a list for that later. Okay, months go by. Actually, probably like a year or two goes by. I find like, okay, I'm gonna do that list now. Let me go find what sources there are out there, and this is it. This is the
other?
source.
You
Fucking
know,
other.
Sierra, we did make him
God,
guess the top 10 most haunted houses in America, and a lot of that was just based on our opinion. So,
that's very
That was a
true.
rough one for me.
All
I
right.
did not do
Well,
well.
what do you have to say about other? Because
Actually,
I
yeah,
feel like
maybe.
you telling us
This
about other
includes
is going to give
everything not
everything
mentioned
else away.
elsewhere. Examples. This isn't exhaustive.
Okay.
Telepathy, haunted houses, reincarnation, which is religious in nature, so I don't know why.
again,
Clairvoyance,
yeah.
prophecy. Those are the examples they gave as other.
No
I don't love
sleep
it either.
paralysis
Those then.
demons.
And if you're wondering about like vampires and werewolves, they're not on here. I think a werewolf might be
Damn
considered
it.
a cryptid. I don't consider it a cryptid, but I think
Mm-hmm.
they might be.
I guess.
Vampire, I think, would fall under other. Sierra's pissed.
Okay. I have a guess, but it might be included in other. Um, is is psychic on here?
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yes.
Psychic?
Psychic and mind reading.
Okay, okay, okay. Number 5.
Alicia, do you want to guess a number before I reveal?
No, I'm confident with her answer.
You're confident with 5, you're sure?
Yes.
Okay. It's number 5, psychic and mind reading. 18% of adults believe in this. How do you guys feel about this? Do you guys believe in this?
I believe that anyone can be psychic if they
Okay.
choose to be. I don't believe in God. I believe in like a consciousness as a whole. Like I think that all humans are connected. And so that's how you be psychic. You just have to tap into that.
Do you think humans can figure out how to tap into that?
Yes, I think it's possible, but most don't.
And I think specific people are definitely better at it than others, like people that are really forward thinking and empathetic and, you know, putting that to good use, I guess you could say. But then again, there's the opposite side where people have been fraudulent and really hurt people.
I have
I
a
think
story
most
written
people
down
who
about that
claim to be
exact thing.
psychic
Let's
are
get to
fucking
it.
liars.
Well, I'll get to the story in a minute. But first, let me tell you that a psychic is a person who is believed to have the ability to perceive or interpret information beyond the ordinary senses. Psychics claim to tap into supernatural or paranormal phenomena to gain insight into the past, present, or future. They often work in various contexts, such as personal readings, tarot card readings, astrology, and spiritual counseling. Seers, as in Seers, formed a functionary role in early civilization, often serving as advisors, priests, and judges. People believe strongly in psychic abilities, while others are very skeptic, saying there's no scientific evidence to support their existence. So this happened actually in Toronto. Shout out to, it's weird because people always talk about like, oh, it's Canada, as if everyone in Canada is a neighbor. But Toronto is like really fucking far from Vancouver, where Alecia is. So
I think I'm closer to Toronto than
I
she
think
is.
I am too.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's not like if we were all Canadian, except me, and I said that, and you'd be like, "Oh, it's an American, like you. It's American."
Yeah, right. Well, hey, we're all about to be American, right?
That's right. The 51st state.
Canada's going to be state number 51.
Fuck off.
God, I'd much rather it go the other way. America gets absorbed into Canada.
No. Well, I feel like that's an ignorance thing, though, too. I've been friends with Americans for years. I know that that's not the case. So don't
I refuse to be
don't
friends
take
with
all
any
Canadians down. I'm basically an honorary American,
No.
basically.
For sure.
Nope. Okay, in an
No.
article reported in CTV News Toronto, an Ontario woman known as Marie Jean, depressed after having to sell her home, began seeing a psychic who went by the name of Mahadev. Marie Jean reported that Dev claimed she was surrounded by evil spirits and that her life could be in danger and her sons could lose their lives. So, Mahadev requested initial payment of $10,000 to remove the spirits, but in subsequent visits, Dev indicated that the spirits were too strong and more money was needed. In total, the woman paid $46,000 before realizing she had been duped. But there is a good happy ending, I guess, because she reported it to the police and was forced to refund the money. So she got the money back, but still, a lot of people don't get the money back. And it's just, it takes a special kind of asshole to manipulate someone like that, someone in need.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm glad she got the money back.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to go along this same kind of realm of psychics and mind reading with my next guess and guess it's an object. So I could be way off base here. Ouija boards?
No, but you're not too far off.
Interesting. I think I know what 1 and 2 is, but 7, I'm
far off from Ouija boards.
Is 7 not far off from Ouija board? Yes. Okay. Okay.
Is it just contacting spirits? Like disembodied voices?
I mean, we're in the arena.
Oh.
It's not ghost.
No, that would be too easy.
Not number 7.
Yeah.
Right. We're specifically going for number 7 here.
What do you do when you play with it? Like contacting loved ones from the dead? I don't know how else
I think you're getting further away.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you this. What is your zodiac sign?
Ooh, astrology.
Astrology /
I'm a Virgo.
Fortune telling. Virgo here as well.
Libra.
Alecia, what is it? Libra?
Libra.
What month is that? Or months?
September. So Sierra's right on the cusp.
It's right after Virgo. I'm literally the day it changes to Libra.
So you're September?
But I'm a Virgo.
Okay, I'm September.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Yes, Nick.
Okay,
that's why
look
we're
at
friends.
us.
I thought we already knew this. Birthday
We might
buddies.
have talked about this before. Yeah. Astrology / fortune telling is number 7. Astrology is the belief that the positions and movements of celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, planets, stars, and Dr. Buster's huge fucking ass, affect people's lives. Some people use astrology as a coping mechanism to find ways to exploit their potential. Others believe that astrology can predict the future. However, astrological forecasts are often broad, inevitable statements that anyone could think of or so vague that they are of no actual use. That's from Wikipedia. Different cultures have employed forms of astrology since at least the 2nd millennium BC, and throughout most of its history, astrology was considered a scholarly tradition. It was accepted in political and academic contexts and was connected with other studies, such as astronomy, alchemy, meteorology, and medicine. But it was at the end of the 17th century that new scientific concepts in astronomy and physics, such as heliocentrism and Newtonian mechanics, called astrology into question, and it thus lost its academic and theoretical standing.
I don't understand how fortune telling is not the same as psychic.
That's where
but
I
is
would
the
have
same
put
as
it.
astrology.
Yeah,
What the
that's where I
fuck?
would have put it.
Listen, Sierra, what we're going to do is I'm going to email you the
I should make the
civicscience.com,
lists. Okay.
and you are going to take it up with them. I
She's
agree it's not a
already
perfect
written a
list.
strongly worded letter mid-recording.
You should write your senator.
Where do
I
you
had the
land
same
on
thought,
beliefs with astrology, Nick?
My senator would put me in fucking jail. Okay. I'm in Alabama. Remember?
Yeah.
Anyway.
You'll go to jail for writing.
For witchcraft. Damn it.
They're gonna create a new stake to burn her.
I was going to
just
say
for
they'll
this
burn you at
occasion.
the stake.
It is 1932 here. Okay.
Hey, it's not much better up here in Oklahoma. Alicia, you were asking how
I was just curious
Yeah.
what your beliefs are
Me?
when it comes to astrology, as you quickly identified that you're a Virgo.
I know I'm a Virgo, but well, yeah, I don't know. I do believe that universe affects us, but I don't believe you can use that to tell someone's future or
When you see stuff that's like, this is Virgo, do you relate to it? Because I fully relate to all of the Virgo isms.
let me do a quick refresh. Virgo.
Like
See,
introvert,
Yeah, that tracks.
kind of emo. You're definitely emo, Nick.
What?
you're
I can
one
tell
hair
you're
swipe
emo.
away from full emo.
Okay, analytical, perfectionist, practical, devilishly handsome, hardworking, reliable. Okay, I think I am. Yeah, I do relate to all these.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it'd
Fortune
been a while
teller.
since I looked at those, but now that I'm looking at them, yeah, I do actually think all
Checks
these.
out.
Yeah. Do you feel the same about Libra, Alicia?
Do and I don't. I think Sierra would disagree because Libras are considered very gregarious and outgoing, but I am
Indecisive.
horribly introverted, and I am very much good at faking that. So I guess maybe Libras are just good at that.
You
They
hate
also have,
confrontation?
no.
Clever, charming, fair? No, none of these are right.
No. Yeah, right.
I'm joking.
I think I'm definitely more Virgo than Libra sometimes.
Well, you're right on the cutoff, right?
Well, Sierra is. I'm 4 days later.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still pretty
I'm
close.
literally on the day.
Yeah.
Didn't they change the
They
dates?
did. They tried to add another zodiac sign, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I said the same thing.
I don't know if anybody pays attention to the changed one.
No.
Fuck that.
You can't do that after
Yeah, who is the authority
all
on
of
that?
this time. Yeah.
Who do we talk to about this?
Who was on that marketing team?
goodness.
Because they did a terrible job.
It's true. Did you guys know, despite astrology kind of having a decline in belief after the 17th century, it's making a comeback because of smartphone apps. Smartphone apps have become very popular in the late 2010s, especially with millennials who are discovering astrology for the first time.
Me. I suggest the app called, where is my app? CoStar is the name of it. CO-STAR.
That's a cute name.
CoStar. I love
That is a cute
app.
name.
It's so cute.
CoStar. Okay, I'll check that out.
See, whoever was on that marketing
Astrology
team is
app.
okay.
What about the marketing team on number 2?
Number 2, for sure, has got to be, I mean, they're marketing hardcore right now, right?
They really are.
Okay, I was afraid you weren't going to get it. You got it. Aliens. Yes. I was afraid you were going to say something else and then you're going to get mad at me again. Aliens is number 2 for sure.
Yes.
30%. Now I'm going to focus in on the theory that aliens have visited Earth. What do you guys think?
I think aliens
Have
have
been
been
here
on Earth
all
all
along.
along.
That was my
They're
question.
in the fucking ocean.
And
Are
they're
you-
leaving the ocean because something down there is scarier than they are, so.
That's what scares me. Why are they leaving Earth? What the fuck is happening here? We should be going with them,
It's like when birds
right?
start flying all of a sudden. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why? What
Did
do
you
you
guys
know
see
that
that
I
movie
don't?
with Kristen Stewart where she was at the bottom of the ocean, like walking on the ocean floor? I think it's
No, but I
called,
love Kristen Stewart. What is this?
what's it called? I think it might just be called Underwater, maybe. Yeah, it is. Underwater, 2020 film with Kristen Stewart. It's very, well, I think reviews were mixed, but I liked it a lot. And it's
Okay.
basically like what's scary at the bottom of the ocean because they're on like a research facility at the very bottom of the ocean.
See, I already can't watch it. It takes me a lot of effort to go in the water as it is.
Well, that's just because the fucking ocean in Canada is cold as hell.
Well, that
Oh,
too.
I was not thinking of Kristen Stewart. I will not watch this. I'm sorry, but I fucking hate Kristen Stewart. Okay.
I don't have an opinion.
She's a terrible actress.
Who did you
Did
think
you
I was
see
talking
my
about?
face when you said that? I was like,
I
interesting.
thought you were thinking of Kristen Bell.
Oh,
That's who came to my mind. Kristen Stewart is fucking awful. She ruined Twilight for millennial me.
well, I
Okay.
think the
Fuck her.
material ruined Twilight.
Twilight books were amazing,
Were they,
other
or were
than
you
the
just 15
terrible
reading it?
editing. Okay. I was probably just 15.
Nick,
The
have you
fucking
not been
movie
a
sucked,
15-year-old girl reading Twilight? Okay, come on.
I dated one,
Oh,
and I sat through
There
the
you go.
Twilight movies. And brother, let me tell you,
I
Oh,
was at the
she
midnight
put you on a
showing,
pedestal
and
you
I
could
was
never fulfill.
pissed off.
anyway, aliens. Ancient aliens. Do you believe in ancient aliens, that they helped humans build things like the pyramids and
Yes.
ancient
If
structures?
there was one thing I could go back in time and watch, it would be the building of the pyramids because I swear aliens would be there for
Look,
sure.
I am more ready to believe that than like ghosts or something like that. Aliens having visited Earth, like I'm a maybe on that. I'm a maybe on that. Anyway, proponents of this theory suggest that this contact of ancient aliens influenced the development of modern cultures, technologies, religions, and the human biology. A common position is that deities from most, if not all, religions are extraterrestrial in origin, and that advanced technologies brought to Earth by ancient astronauts were interpreted as evidence of divine status by early humans. The idea that ancient astronauts existed and visited Earth is not taken seriously by academics and buzzkill fucking archaeologists who consider it to be a pseudo archaeological unscientific. But I have done an episode on this too, the top 10 ancient structures maybe built by aliens. So,
Yeah. In my opinion, if God is real, there are probably multiple of them, and they are probably all aliens.
it would make sense.
Yeah. It makes more sense than a God who created everybody, you know?
I'm just glad that the government has finally admitted that aliens exist and have stopped trying to hide weird shit
But
from
isn't
us.
it weird that they admitted it and it seems like nobody gives a shit?
I mean,
Because we all
how
already
can
knew.
we?
We were like, okay, now you admit it. All right, now we can move on.
Also, we've lived through all of this shit so far. Aliens is like the least of our concerns.
I think it's also a part of it is like people still don't believe it even after hearing it, some people. And then there's other people that are like, that's a problem for tomorrow. We got COVID or
Yeah,
we got Trump or
right.
we got whatever else is going on right now. The war, the various wars.
Yeah.
So like, let's worry about aliens when they fucking,
Decide to
When
yeah,
they want
take
to be
over our
worried about.
planet.
yeah, we'll worry about that later. Well, maybe we'll find out someday. But that brings us to the last one remaining, number one. I think we all know what it is, but can you say
Go.
it for us? Ghosts. They put ghost/spirits. 41% of American adults believe this, although 48% of women, so more women believe in ghosts than men. Which, I
Checks
don't
out
know.
just from this conversation.
I guess, yeah, the stats don't lie. A
Yeah.
ghost is the spirit or soul of a deceased person or animal that some people believe can appear to be living. There are many references to ghosts in Mesopotamian religions. Traces of these beliefs survive in the later Abrahamic religions that came to dominate the region. There was widespread belief in ghosts in ancient Egyptian culture, and the Hebrew Bible contains references to ghosts, associating spiritism with forbidden occult activities. By the 5th century BC, classical Greek ghosts had become haunting, frightening creatures who could work to either good or evil purposes. The spirit of the dead was believed to hover near the resting place of the corpse, and cemeteries were places the living avoided. The dead were to be ritually mourned through public ceremony, sacrifice, and libations, or else they might return to haunt their families. But if you go to the ancient Romans, they believed a ghost could be used to exact revenge on an enemy by scratching a curse on a piece of lead or pottery and placing it into a grave. Moving forward to medieval Europe, ghosts were more substantial ghosts previously, and there are accounts of ghosts being wrestled with and physically restrained until a priest could arrive to hear its confession. Skeptics side, Joe Nickel of the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry wrote that there was no credible scientific evidence that any location was inhabited by spirits of the dead, and limitations of human perception and ordinary physical explanations can account for ghost sightings. For example, air pressure changes in a home causing doors to slam, humidity changes causing boards to creak, condensation in electrical connections causing intermittent behavior, or lights from a passing car reflected through a window at night. Pareidolia, an innate tendency to recognize patterns and random perceptions, is what skeptics believe cause people to believe they have seen ghosts. What do you say to that?
I think all of those things can exist while ghosts also exist.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I would say those people have never listened to our podcast. Have you seen the shit that's
Yeah.
happened in mine and Sierra's houses?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
And
I forgot to say, because I said this in the beginning, Nick, that I was going to ask you when this came up and it was about aliens. Do you not believe in aliens? How can you not believe in aliens right now in 2025 with all the shit that's happening?
I do believe in aliens. I do believe
Okay,
in aliens. What I
okay.
go
I do.
50-50 on is if they have like visited Earth in our past and like ancient civilizations and all that.
Okay.
I'm less
Okay.
certain of that. I think it's possible. I definitely believe in aliens for sure. And
Yeah. I think in 2025, aliens are more believable to a lot of people than ghosts are. I believe in ghosts still, but I think aliens are like, you know,
But I'm
pretty, I don't
happy to
know,
see that
obvious almost.
48% because there's so much, like
Yeah.
we said at the very beginning of the episode, that cannot be explained any other way
But
than
how
something
much
supernatural.
of the 48% who believe in ghosts are like people who believe in Dia de los Muertos? Like, that's kind of different. That's like a religion holiday type thing as opposed to I believe in supernatural ghosts, but it's still considered ghosts. So I don't
I
know.
don't know. I mean, it's an American survey, and I know those people
Okay.
that religion is practiced by people in America too, of course, but it's a minority. So
Yeah.
I would think that most people that answered this survey believe in ghosts in the traditional way most people think of ghosts. You know, a spirit that is a deceased person hanging out in our realm for whatever reason,
Like haunting.
haunting. But I think there's also people. Well, obviously, there's people that believe in ghosts that are non-threatening, right? They're just.
Yeah. Like my grandpa came and visited
Mm-hmm.
me kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
nice.
I think that it's very common that people say goodbye after they pass, and people that I know in my life who have never believed in anything paranormal have started to believe in the paranormal because of experiences that they've had when somebody close to them has passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about either of you, but Sierra said it perfectly. When my grandpa passed away, I definitely felt like he came and
Mm-hmm.
had a little visit before he
See,
moved
and that's
on.
the thing. Like, I have not had an experience like that. If I did, things would change, right? So it's easy to believe in it when you've had an experience, and it's easy to discount it when you haven't. So, yeah.
That's true. Well, I don't want to say I hope that anyone has an experience like that because that means a great loss in some way, but I
Well,
do think that that's a very cool percentage, and I'm
I
happy to
will
hear it.
say that when I die, the first person I'm visiting is Nick. I gotta prove that ghosts are real.
yeah, please do. And then let me take a photo so I can prove it to everyone else.
Yeah. Nick will be like 99 years old and a millionaire because he captured Ghost Sierra on camera.
Well, the other thing is about ghosts, and I'm saying this as a skeptic, but even if someone has evidence on photo or video, same with Bigfoot or any of the stuff we talked about, if someone
It
has
could be
evidence,
doctored. Yeah.
exactly, you can't trust the evidence, or people won't trust the evidence. So I don't know how you prove it. I don't know how you prove it without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't think you can. You have to experience it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, my husband is not a believer at all in anything, and he has recently started seeing some of the stuff that happens in the house, and I'm like, how do you explain that? You can't in any other way.
Same.
And one of our most recent experiences was, and I hate to even say it out loud, but was like mimic like. And I was hearing his voice for a really long time. And now the other day he's heard mine. I was in here editing, headphones on, doing my thing. He's like, "Did you just call me?" I'm like, "No." And also, get out. 'Cause now I'm
No, that
freaked
was
out.
that was alternate Alecia from another reality.
I like to hope that that's the case. That's
That would
much
be
less
Alicia, who's
sinister.
also like Spider-Man or something.
If alternate dimension Alicia is not Spider-Man, I'm upset.
Well, there is a dimension out there where that's true. There's a dimension out there where you're every version of everything, right? Like
Oh,
every possible combination exists.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Podcast host, Spider-Man,
American.
honorary American.
All right. So
I
the top
refuse to
8.
accept this idea.
The top 8 paranormal beliefs in America. Other at number 8. Although it could be some paranormal cryptid we haven't heard of called Author, to be fair.
Author, that's what it is.
Hey, I have our next
For sure.
conspiracy episode. I'm making him up.
7 is astrology / fortune telling. They're the ones who grouped it together, not me. 6 is Bigfoot and other cryptids. 5 is psychics and mind reading. 4 is witches and magic. 3 is demons. 2, aliens. And number 1, ghosts and spirits. What do you think of that ranking? Like, I know it's not perfect, but none of us are surprised ghosts are number 1, probably. But what about the rest?
I'm not surprised at 1, 2, or 3. The rest are a little, I feel like I would, other just pisses me off. Okay. I can't get over other. Like, there are so many things in there that could have been
But they
filled
they
out.
can't have a 28,000 list, right?
That's 10-ish.
I guess technically.
The only thing that surprised me is I would have thought with the movement of, podcasts like ours and topics of conversation and new evidence and proof coming forward that cryptids would have been a little bit higher at this point. But, the rest of it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, I thought cryptids would rank higher, but 6 still ain't bad.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
Anyway,
a great list, though. Thank you so
And
much.
if the listeners enjoyed this episode, they will for sure enjoy your podcast. So I would love for you to remind them how to find it and listen to it.
You can find us every Tuesday on any podcast feed. We release episodes about cryptids, conspiracies, hauntings, basically everything we've talked about in today's list. And we do it over a wine or sangria usually. And we've got lots of exciting things that we're working on. So you're definitely going to want to come check it out.
Twisted and Uncorked. And what I liked about it too is there's a mix of really well-known things, well-known cases or phenomena, and then there's a mix of like lesser-known things. Like Sierra just covered that cult. What were they called?
Source family.
Yes, that. It was like the hippie cult that like,
Yeah.
why have I not heard of this before? Super weird. So, but interesting. So it's a good mix of, and I like that because sometimes I do like I want to hear about the cult I've heard of, but I have never
Right.
done research into. And then sometimes you want to hear, I've heard all the cults I want to hear, and it's not just cults. I'm just using that as an example. But anyway, check it
Well,
out,
we'll
everybody.
definitely have to have you on again for a new exotically mustachioed episode.
I'll shave accordingly. Keep the mustache on.
Please never shave your mustache like that. Never do it.
It was super bushy, right?
No, it was like it was like the opposite of a Hitler stash is what you
Oh,
had it.
yeah.
It was like missing this
That
part
was
and
it.
then
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Goddamn. That was a cult episode, right? What were they called? It's like the gray something, right? The cult?
remember it. It was my
I can't
episode.
remember what their name was,
It
but I
was
remember
really long. I remember it being really
It
long.
was really long. And Nick was like, "What? Why would you even call it that?" It was 97, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
It
Blackburn
keeps taking
cult.
me to
That's
the
not
top.
a long name.
Thank you. No, but it had a longer name. That's the shortened version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing I should plug is I've been on Twisted and Uncorked a few times, so you can go find those episodes too. And next time I'm on, I'll be sure to drink my Magic Mind so I have clear energy and focus, and the listeners can get their 45% off discount using the link in the show notes. Alecia and Sierra, thank you so much for being here on this episode. It is always a blast to talk to you guys.
Thank
you as well. Thank you so much for having us.
But from one other to another, thank you for being here. Thank you to the listeners for listening, and I'll see you next week on Tennis Podcast. Goodbye.